Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. On the Eastern time zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. My guest gets to ride home with you, too. We all have so much fun. Thank you again for watching us on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget, you can find us in Alabama, close to the Huntsville, Alabama area, channel 182 on Charter Communications. You can find us on podcast, thenewscasters.com, and also the biggest radio country station in South Carolina, WZLA. I wanted to show Pastor Greg Lohner is with me right now. Greg, see this coffee mug right here?
Let's see. Yes.
Okay, this
I
was
like
the
that.
from 21 years ago when the show started.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I took good
Let's
care
put
of
that in the museum one day.
it. Yeah, right. This is one I can find that's not chipped all over. So anyway, we took good care of this one sitting in the china. No, that's not. I've got to take care of it on the way to putting in the china cabinet so that I don't break it. Greg's a good friend of mine. He's a very, very good friend of the show, and we're friends with Greg too. Greg, again, thank you. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you for having me, as always.
You know what? I get to see you on Facebook. I don't get to respond a lot of time because we're just going in so many directions, but I'm watching and feel this too. And we're seeing all the different things that you guys are bringing in to your church and to the young folks in your community and beyond. So
Yeah.
what are some things that are going on? You've got some things happening this week.
Yeah, we do. We have done a couple of our Level Land Live broadcasts from Ware Shoals over the past several months, and the mayor of Ware Shoals is just falling in love with our church, of course, myself, and just exposure that we're giving folks about the town. So he asked a while back if we would come and open up their summer concert series with a Level Land Live broadcast.
Uh-huh.
So that is this Thursday night. And so all of the people that sing in the church are going to be participating. We're going to have some fun numbers. We're going to have different ones on the town council, and the mayor, Brian Ross, also going to be interviewing them. So just kind of mutual friendship that we have here with our church and Ware Shoals. It just kind of developed out of nowhere, and I just appreciate so much the camaraderie that we have built together, and the privilege and honor of being able to come and do that on this Thursday night, 6 to 8 o'clock at West End Park over in Ware Shoals, right downtown on the northern end of the row of the old West End town district.
We're going to have it out there for you as well. But what can folks expect at this event?
So, like I said, there'll be interviews with different townspeople, several of the council members, also the mayor. I've asked him to just pull together whoever he would like to be a part of that side of things, and then we've got all of our singers. When I start naming names, I start leaving them out, but several soloists, our praise team, which features many of our young people, will be singing. Also, our young people do solos. So if people watch some of our Facebook page, you'll see the different people that sing, the talent that they've got. So bring a lawn chair. Come on out on Thursday night. That's going to be the 11th of June. They're right there at West End Park. You'll have a great time together. There's going to be food trucks there. So come with an appetite and buy some of the food of the vendors that will be on site there, and just, I guess, take a break from the heat. Maybe there's shade trees out there, and just have a good time in the Lord with us.
It always seems like some of the best food from those food trucks.
You know it does. I don't know something about it. The first time I ever had food from a food truck was, I think it was 2011. My late wife and I had went to Hawaii, and there was this shrimp truck that was way up on the northern side of the island, and we had saw it on Frommer's, those tour books, Hawaii for Dummies, that type of thing, where it recommends places for you to go. So I remember seeing that in that book, and so we ate there, and I'm here to tell you, it was so good, and that was my first experience with a food truck. But I mean, these days they're about on every corner,
Mhm.
and you can find about anything your mind could think of to eat at these things. So anyway, yeah, they'll have food trucks there, so I'm sure it'll be good. There's also restaurants within walking distance as well.
A lot of restaurants that were having a hard time during COVID turned into the food trucks. I think that was a great idea. It was a great
Yeah.
survival tool. So Phil and I went to New York years and years ago, and I said, "Well, I want to take you to New York for your birthday." Well, Phil and I are country folks, but we thought we'd try it. But the best food we had was a hot dog truck. I mean,
Yeah, I've done that before too.
it was
Didn't have chili though.
they
Did they have chili now? I mean, I went back when I was in high school, I think, so that was a long time ago. No chili.
Oh, they had all kinds of. And by the way,
Really?
did you ever watch Seinfeld growing up?
I didn't.
Okay,
I'm
Seinfeld
sorry, folks. I'm not a Seinfeld watcher.
well, you got to find this one. So
Okay.
there was a guy, and there really is this restaurant there, and this guy would say, "No soup for you." He was like really rude, and he was just, like we're used to the Southern hospitality, like you're going to have at your event on Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was extremely rude, and so my son told me about it. He said, "When you go to New York, see if you can find that restaurant, No Soup for You." And so we went and we found it, and they were rude. But I'm
Oh, wow.
the best soup I've ever had. I
Yeah.
mean, even I put up with their rudeness so I could eat the clam chowder. But
Kind of like Dick's Last Resort, which I have never eaten at either, but I hear it's kind of like that
yeah,
down at the beach and other places.
but I like to go friendly atmosphere, and that's what
Yeah.
you can have down there on Thursday night. So that's going to be a
Yes.
great setting.
Yeah. So they'll have concerts all summer long, but this one will be a little different. So hopefully the townspeople especially will come out and uh, just give an ear to the things that have been happening in the town of Ware Shoals, things that are coming up to be excited about. They've got the old Catherine Hall, which man, it served kind of as a YMCA. It had a movie theater in it, a canteen, had a community swimming pool around back. So that's being restored.
Wow.
Just all kind of different things that's going on in the town. Of course, that's where I'm from, so that's where the biggest link comes from. My heart will always have a love for Ware Shoals, where I went to school and everything. They're celebrating 100 years of the high school, so a whole lot going on, and just come out and help us.
Looks like I may have lost Greg. Phil, I'm going to throw us into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes, so y'all hang in there, okay?
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulse to electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding.
Hey, Stan, look, I made you something.
Oh, thank you.
And I got something for you. You grew these?
Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Just came in from the break. I want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. You guys are absolutely fabulous. I've got Pastor Greg Lohner with me right now. Greg, it's so good to be with you. And I wanted to mention this. A lot of times, folks don't know what's going on in their town, and there can be some fascinating things going on, and they just haven't talked to the city council members, or maybe they haven't talked to the mayor. You're about to bring that out. That's a great thing. Thank you for that.
Yes, I mean, I know so many people, I guess, that are influential in their towns and stuff. So, like, I've done the same thing for Due West. I know the mayor there. She used to be a pastor over in Honeypath when I was serving a church close to there. And so, it's just having so many connections and everything, and being from here. So just letting the Lord just kind of open doors and things based upon relationships that have been built during the years. So I give him all the glory for the opportunities that he gives me.
Well, the more a community talks with each other, and that's your city council and your mayor, the more the folks talk to each other, I think the better town it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's open
Yeah,
communication.
that's right. And let people know what's going on and listen to concerns and things like that. And when you've got people like that in office, they tend to get reelected over and over again. There's a pattern to that. I think we have lost uh, the way it has always been and should be even to this day is, we the people, we're the ones that are supposed to voice our opinions and our concerns about how things are being done. And I think oftentimes we have people that are elected and strictly want to do what they want to do and have very little concern for what the townspeople think or the people of the country think or the state. And so we the people is a very important concept that we need to maintain in this country and in our communities as well.
Oh, I think so too. I spoke with a guy, he's a good friend of mine. He ran for office on 2 different terms. And so something was brought to his attention and he fixed it. And so he mentioned that to me. And I said, well, why didn't anybody fix it? 'Cause we were friends, And I said, why did you leave it alone? Why did it take somebody telling you? And he said, I didn't know it needed to be fixed. And he said the person just kept apologizing for calling him. And he said, no, I thank you for bringing this to my attention. I did not know there was an issue. I didn't know. So sometimes we don't tell folks. And, you got to tell them so that they can know what to fix. We're the same way. You can tell me, Donna, you got a leaky faucet. Maybe if you come to my house, I may not know I had a leaky faucet.
That's right.
Thank you for telling me. So sometimes in a nice way, folks, in a nice way, talk to your folks who are leading your community and tell them what needs to be fixed, again, in a nice way. And I promise you, they'll start working on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's true with anything, business, church, what have you. Sometimes you have to put the agenda aside and do what really needs to be done the most. And that's going to reach and help the most people. And so it's good, I think, for every organization to keep that in mind.
We've got an election coming up tomorrow, so we're recording this little.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And so, that's why, a lot of folks only vote in the presidential election. But man, you got to vote for if you love your community, vote in your own community elections as well. Vote every time.
Yeah. The power is given to the people in this country. It's not like that everywhere, but being a democracy, we all should want to be involved in that process. And, I've always heard if you don't vote, then you don't really deserve a say as to who got elected and what their policies are or become. And so it's important. And it makes you feel good when you went out and voted to know that you did take a part, and therefore you do have more of a right, I think, to state how you think things should go and operate.
I always enjoyed voting because it was a way you get to get in the community, check up on everybody's kids or grandkids, and kids that are growing, and it was a lot of fun. My grandmother and granddad always worked the voting polls that day. They forever. I don't remember them not doing that. And so I asked her one time, I said, why do you do that? It doesn't really pay anything to do that. And she said, oh, I just enjoy getting to catch up with everybody.
That's a cool part of it.
Talk. It's part of the community. It's part of the way things operate. So I thought, well, I'm going to try it. And I'm going to have to tell you, I learned some good things. People throw off on young people all the time.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of young people coming in voting for the first time. And it was really interesting. And your parents that are involved with the kids as well. And I thought what was interesting is the parents would come in. I heard one guy, he was asking his dad, well, Dad, who do I need to vote for? And I heard his dad say, did you do any research? And he said, well, no, I've been going to, I'd been going to college and all this kind of stuff. I haven't had time. And he said, should have done your research, son.
Right. Yep, you need to. And then exercise your right to vote. And get up off the couch, exercise, put the backfield in motion, get to the poll and vote. We're a free country, and I hope we always stay that way. And one of the privileges we have as a free country is to be able to cast a vote at the ballot box. So as long as you can and you're able, do that.
Well, thank you for all the things you're doing to bring the community together. I know you have some more events that are coming up too pretty soon.
Yeah, so the Lord laid this upon my heart. I I love basketball, and I thought, I looked around to see if there were any camps right here in the Iva area, and there weren't. So I want to be doing some basketball camps this summer on behalf of Mission Baptist Church. So girls ages 8 to 12, it's going to be June 24th to 26th. The July 15th to 17th is going to be co-ed, ages 8 to 12 again. And then the third camp also is ages 8 to 12, but it's for boys, July 29th through the 31st. And it's at the Iva Civic Center. And it's 9 to noon every day. And it's $100 a camper. I've been looking at some of the charges for some of the camps and stuff this summer, and that is a very, very reasonable price for 9 hours of basketball skills, and also throwing in some teachable times about relationship with the Lord and keeping that strong. So any kids out there, again, ages 8 to 11, strictly girls, strictly boys, co-ed. Also, if families have girls and boys in the same household, probably want them to be together. So we want to try to take care of that. And there's discounts for families that have more than one child to take part in as well. And if you'd like to help pay away for a child, you're welcome to do that. So the phone number is always for everything is my own. It's 864-940-4586 if you'd like to participate in the camp or sponsor in some kind of way. Just reach out to us and let us know. So that's that. And then also over in July, I'm excited about our theme for Vacation Bible School. We always try, and I always have in the ministry throughout the years as a pastor, to do Vacation Bible Schools later in the summer and try to do something different than what other churches have done. I know kids love to go to the same Vacation Bible School theme at different churches throughout the summer, but I've also found that it's good to kind of whet their appetite for something different, like before they go back to school. So our theme for this year is called Berry Blast Theme Park. So it's going to be like going to a theme park with all of the games and the crafts and the Bible lessons and skits and all that kind of stuff. We've talked about on the way out for the nights. It's on the Fruit of the Spirit.
It's like I may have lost Greg again. So he's talking about several different events that are happening right now, and one of those is going to be in his hometown. And play where he grows. Wouldn't it be fun to go and find out what the other people are saying about Greg? Wouldn't that be a whole lot of fun? Oh boy. Let's go ahead and cut to another real quick commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. Okay, we're back. Got Greg Lohner with me right now. 2 more minutes left in this segment. I know you've got quite a few things that are happening on the community, but let's talk about Thursday before you go.
Yep. So Thursday night over at West End Park in Ware Shoals, we're going to be there doing the first night of their summer concert series, doing our Level and Live broadcast from there, and going to have several of the folks on town council, also Mayor Brian Ross at Ware Shoals. You can't miss it. It's right downtown at the end of the old row of buildings on each side of the main highway that runs through town. There's a pizza place called Family Pizza, I think, right across from the park. So just come and be with us. Bring a lawn chair. Several of the people in our church that sing are going to be singing, and we're going to be just discovering all kind of great things that have been and are going to be happening in the town of Ware Shoals.
Let me ask you another quick question. This pertains to volunteers. For any of your events that are coming up, do you need folks to help you put these things together?
Of course, we do. We would love to have any type of help with any of our events. Just let us know, 864-940-4586. My mom actually hurt her leg really bad. She actually got run over by a vehicle that she thought had been put in park, and it wound up not being in park, and so it run over her leg. Thank God nothing was broken. So she's always been a big help with that, and she's down right now. So on Tuesdays from 5 to 5:30, I could use some help to help with the Miss D's deals on groceries, packaging them up, and getting them out to people's cars.
All right, let's talk about that before we go. Miss D's
Okay.
deals, because there's some great deals out there.
Yes, it is. It's still going. I have regular customers every week. We've started doing some $100 meat deals. I hate to say it, but I look at other pages of businesses that are doing the $100 meat deals, and you got like a pound of this and a pound of that and a pound of that. And when I do the math, they're making about 65% profit. And I just cannot do that. With our meat deals, you're going to get 40 to 50 pounds of meat for $100, plus the produce deals. Of course, most or all of your produce now in grocery stores is fresh. It's come straight from a farm nearby. So great deals on produce, and then other meat deals, and the $35 deal, which includes fresh meats, fruits, vegetables, and every now and then a staple food item. But with all the produce so abundant now and such good prices, I'm trying to throw as much of that in as I can, and not so much worried about staple food items, because people want their produce.
Absolutely. That's a good
Yeah.
stuff right there. So let me ask you one more thing. I know you've got to go. This pertains to the basketball camp. So how can folks donate it if they would like to sponsor a child going to the camp?
Yeah, everything's being done through calling or texting my number. So it's 864-940-4586. Just any contributions that you would like to make. If you want to put it towards a kid, be it a girl or a boy, or just however you'd like to stipulate, we'll be sure to honor that.
Absolutely. Greg, anything you want to say before we go?
No, just God loves you. He's got a purpose and a plan for every single one of your lives. And once you get in the niche and knowing that you're doing his will, what he'd have for you to do, what his good pleasure is for you, it's the best life ever. So get with God and let him lead and guide you into all great things that's in store for your life.
Absolutely. Greg, thank you again. I know you're busy. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you as always, Donna.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We definitely appreciate that. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Podcast Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone. As I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, and I do say get to ride home with you in the afternoon because it's always so much fun. You can find us on television a couple different ways. In North Alabama, specifically, you can find us on Channel 182, and that's on Charter Communications, close to the Huntsville, Alabama area. The other way you can find us is on Abundant Television, which which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast now on thenewscasters.com. And on the radio, the biggest country station in South Carolina, WZLA. And you can find us on all the social media sites there as well. Continue sending email. I treasure each single email you send out. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. I've got Paul Kellogg with me. So excited to talk with you, Paul. So many wonderful things that we can talk about. And you are the founder of Empowered Soul Network. Let's talk about that for a few minutes. What's it all about?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, first of all, Donna, thank you for having me on. You were
Always.
on a guest in the Empowered Soul Network. That's a Facebook group. My family and I started a couple of years ago. It's now got close to 10,000 members, and people just love to get on and tell their stories. I mean, you and I are kindred spirits here in that regard, helping people just get their message out there. There's so many amazing people all over the world that have this unique place in life. They have unique experiences, and you never know what experience somebody shares that could help somebody else that's searching and trying to find some answers. So leveraging that and helping people have a platform for that is what Empowered Soul Network is all about. We've got people from all walks of life in there, all faiths, all cultures, all backgrounds. I think I've interviewed people now in 40 different countries, in that regard. So it's been a pleasure to be able to be a part of that kind of bigger family, if you will, of people.
Oh, yeah. We're finding out the big world is not so big after all. We all have a lot of common ideas and common ways, the way we actually walk through life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I have a colleague who's becoming a good friend. She's from Pakistan. She lost her husband a few years ago to a tragic accident, and she is now a grief counselor. And she puts aside any specific religious orientation and just helps people to grieve and to release and to find empowerment, to find something forward. Just a beautiful person. And I don't know if I ever would have met her other than in these circles of connections. So it's amazing.
It is. It's an amazing life. It's an amazing world. It's amazing if we'll let it be. And I'm all for letting it be.
Right.
You and I were talking. We had actually a show before the show, and so we were talking about there's a common word, and you brought this up, and I'm glad you did, and it's a word that back in and you mentioned this back in my days of the 70s, it was kind of a mystical word. It's like people were almost afraid of the word, but it's the word aura.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe that word? What is it really?
Yeah, to step back a little bit and kind of give an overview orientation to that. One of the things that we talk about is, again, whatever your beliefs are, we're all energy. We're all expressions of the universe, expressions of God. However you say that, doesn't make any difference what the words are to me. I am energy. I have that soul or that life force or that spirit. That this physical body is like an anchor that holds me here in this physical world so that I can learn and grow and experience, express, help other people with what I'm learning. And that energy, it's actually been photographed, in infrared kind of technology and so on. And you can see the heat patterns and it's kind of an electromagnetic vibration. It's the same energy that shoots through our nervous system and so on. Science still doesn't know exactly how that fits. They still don't know quite what that is. But that energy emanates out. We're like radio receivers and transmitters with our energy. We're constantly projecting energy out from us by our emotions, by our actions, our thoughts, our heart. And we're also being bombarded by that same energy. You and I are connecting energetically here. We're interacting. There's a relationship going on. So aura is just simply the word that describes that emanation. And many people can actually see that. Back in the day, people saw the countenance and the halo around the Christ and so on. I mean, there's so much sensitivity that we have to that. The more relaxed a person is, the brighter that energy is. We're like little miniature suns, if you will, Donna. We're always shining out. So that's really what that means. It's just the energy that we emanate. People can feel it. They can have thoughts related to it. They can actually visualize it. My wife is very visual. She sees energies around people. She's a school teacher. She sees the energy around the kids all the time. Sometimes it's tight and tense or a little dark. Sometimes it's bright and happy. So it's one way to gauge our relationships with each other and with the environment out around us without being caught in the intellect of, well, this should or this shouldn't. And like you said, 40, 50, 60 years ago, people didn't understand any of that. So it was automatically something was not good or something was bad, as opposed to now people talk about it all the time.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful thing. And also I remember my son when he was going to college, he could just call me, and it was, I don't know, it was something about the tone of his voice or something, and automatically I would say, "What's wrong?"
Yeah.
And he would say, "What do you mean what's wrong?" And I would say, "I can hear it in your voice." And he was like, "How can you hear it in my voice?" And then he would tell me whatever the problem was. I didn't have time to study. I didn't blah, blah, blah. I've got a test tomorrow, so I'm on the edge. He would be like that. But it's just something that you can just tell. And just walking into a room, you can just walk into a room and maybe 4 couples are there. You can sense the ones that are having some issues.
There you go.
I mean, there it is. Is that what you would think aura is?
Well, yeah, and even to continue to simplify this, another giant word that's out there now, and I rarely find people that don't have some kind of acceptance, is the word intuition. I follow my intuitions. I trust my instincts. I have this gut feeling, the hunch, all of that. What we're doing there is we're experiencing the energy. And so when you walk into that room, there are 4 couples, you could not know them from Adam, but yet they're projecting this energy in the room. It's and I don't separate it out. Sometimes their body language, sometimes their facial expressions, but that unconscious, unobvious kind of feeling or sense is what more and more people are starting to realize is trying to speak to them. And that can be a very practical, down-to-earth tool to help us navigate the environment, the workplace, the upset relationship. If I start to trust what I'm picking up and what I'm experiencing. So that's key answer. And then we can talk about the 4 different ways that they do that. But in general, that's what's happening. Energy's interacting with energy.
Absolutely. And I'll not say which sibling, but it was one of our Phil and my siblings. We went to their house where it was going to be movie night. And we walked in the door and it was like, whoa, something's wrong here. And it's not, I'm not like, guru or anything like that. It's just that you had the feeling, you had to trust it. But something, even the Bible talks about insight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over Proverbs. I mean, it's just, having the insight to see things, and it's a spiritual thing. It's a God thing.
Absolutely. And I think it's First Corinthians chapter 12, verse, I can't remember the verses, but it talks about the gifts of the Spirit. To one is given the gift of visions, a gift of miracles, the gift, and it's all that's describing energy. It's not describing the intellectual philosophy.
It absolutely is.
It's talking about that. So and that's one of the things that we talk about in our work. Sometimes the people that I interview in Empowered Soul Network they're guided by that. So one of the key ways that we sense that energy is, as you and I were talking, we just feel it. It's almost a physical sensation. It feels good. It feels up. It feels down. It feels loving. It feels not so nice. All that. There are people that are very empathic, they call it, to just feeling energies. Learning to interpret and discern it is one of the top things that we work with. And then there's the people who pick up energy. It's not just a feeling, but they actually have thoughts that pop into their mind. I was very strong with that when I was growing up. I woke up in the middle of the night, and in my head, Bessie's in trouble. Now, Bessie was our milk cow, and she's very, very pregnant. I was probably 10 years old. So I had this, Bessie's in trouble. So I walked in, woke up my father, and I said, Dad, Bessie's in trouble. We need to get down to the barn. And he he was also kind of sensitive,
Mhm.
and he decided, what have I got to do? I'm going to call the vet. So here's like, I don't know, 1:00 in the morning, whatever. The vet comes over. It didn't look far. It was a small town community. The vet comes over. Well, the calf was breached. And
Oh,
a large animal like that can be trouble. And they actually had to, without getting too graphic, tie a rope and help pull it out and so on. So I picked up that thought process and then shared that. Now there are other people that actually see it. Sometimes in the metaphysical style circles, they'll call that clairvoyance. All clair means is just clear seeing, voyance, clear seeing. So you're seeing beyond just the physical pen. You're seeing the energy of the pen. So they think in pictures. They process the energy by seeing it. So they do see the auras around people. They see angels. You name it. They just see a lot of things that sometimes the rest of us don't perceive. And then the last one is the knowingness. It's kind of an inner knowing. It's kind of an awareness overall of something. It can be very prophetic almost. They kind of tend to know what's happening out there. I have a strong concern for the future and so forth. So 4 different ways that people perceive and actually process that energy. And when you know what another person is, I can easily communicate better with that person. For example, my wife, I said, is very visual. I'm very auditory. So if we're not careful, we're ships passing in the night. But understanding that probably has kept our marriage together because it's forced us to be patient with each other. She oftentimes doesn't see what my ideas are, and I often don't understand what her pictures are. So by knowing that, it helps. And then we have 2 kids that are feeling kids. They just wear their heart on their sleeve. They're just total they sense things. If we weren't relaxed as parents, shut the door. We don't want to talk to you.
right.
And we had to learn to listen to them more because sometimes there was no word that fit the feeling that they were having. They couldn't describe it because it was a feel. So those are some aspects of kind of this bigger picture of intuition and so on.
Absolutely. Dr. Paul, we've got to go into a commercial break. Can you believe half the show is already went by? We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there, okay?
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakelands Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? a pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulse to electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching Your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. And Dr. Paul is going to come on there and ride with us as well. Dr. Paul, I wanted to mention one other thing. Yeah. I've always kind of, and it's a God-given thing. I really do believe it. It's a talent. And so I've used this in business with customer service. And like when you walk in and let's say you have an appointment to talk with a potential client, and it's really important you read them. Okay, so you can know what to do. I watched him one time, and it was an account I wanted. I was looking so forward to this one. It was like a huge account for me. Used to handle the government and corporate accounts with GTE. So I walk into this guy's business. There was his aura is I'm busy and I'm not going to hear a word you say.
Yep.
That's how I got it. So I picked up on it. And so I said, you know what? You are busy. I said, let's reschedule a time for me to come back. I was not going to sit and talk with him when he was not hearing a word I was having to say because he was busy with his business. Yep. You know, so you have to protect yourself from that and your client from that as well. So he said, well, thank you for recognizing that. He said, I'm something, something happened to the product line, something, and then he's just all over it. So I said, let's just do it right now. And I'll leave and let you run your business. So I opened up my day timer and we set up a date and then I closed it and I said, I'm out of here. I'll see you whenever the date was. So we come back. He was much more relaxed. And he said, I wouldn't have heard a word you said. And I'm pretty sure it's a good product. And so I got the client all because, and it was nothing I did. It was just something I felt.
That's right.
You know, so there you go. Customer service is all about understanding aura.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that, I hear it all the time. I trust my intuitions, and so on. That's great. But oftentimes it's a happenstance for people. It kind of comes. You wait for it or whatever. But you can actually use that sensitivity. Let's just call it sensitivity. Mm-hmm. You can project that out because everything else is energy. So there's no reason why I can't relax a little bit. And even if I think it's my imagination, which most of the time it's actually not, I can sense what's going on in the office before I even get there. Uh-huh. I can sense how to communicate with my spouse before I get home. So you can use that kind of as a GPS, like almost like a spiritual GPS, to be more in the right place at the right time, to be more discerning of where the obstacles might be in the pathway. And that's what people do all the time. And the famous mystics of the world and, people who write books, that's all they did. That's all they did was they just followed those impressions and those instincts. So it can be a huge practical tool. I love that example, Donna, the way you brought it up. I wanted to share a couple of things here because we're talking about business. I saw this in Forbes magazine. I have to paraphrase because I don't remember the exact quote. But 91% of executives, corporate executives, say that intuitive decision-making is a major part of their leadership.
I agree 100,000 times.
It's amazing. And then here's another one. I love this quote. This is my favorite quote of all time. Einstein. People don't realize how kind of spiritual he was. He was very aware of energy. He said, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant, but has forgotten the gift. Isn't that beautiful?
I never thought about it that way.
Bring it on, you guys.
Thank you for that insight.
Yeah, it starts with trust.
And it's about people with different beliefs. And I'll give you another example. So there's a guy I went to school with. We are on different planets when it comes to, say, the political world, the way that is. But I'm just going to tell you what, this guy is an avid gardener.
Yeah.
And so, but he wanted to argue the point with me on every single thing, at all my guests and all this kind of stuff. And so I just stopped him right there. And I always, when people are arguing with me about things like that, I just say, I'm not going to argue with you because I love you.
Right.
That's what I always say. So and I think sometimes he argued with me just so I would tell him I loved him. I think he needed to be told that. But anyway, so I'm saying, I love you. And I said, something, you know more about gardening than anyone on earth that I know of. You are a master. As a matter of fact, you need to be holding classes about gardening and about herbs and all these wonderful things that make us healthy. And I said, you do that. Then he sends me a message back. And he said, I'm actually thinking about writing a book. And I said, do it. Because I can't think of anybody on earth who knows more about gardening than you do.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's more of a gift than arguing with people.
Well, and not only that, but again, the energetic part of that, it goes underneath and beyond what's here. I mean, you and I both know that people that they could go to church on Sunday morning and they'll forget it the rest of the week.
True.
Right? I mean, and I know people that have never been inside a church and they're the most loving, caring, beautiful people in the entire world. It really is that intuitive side really comes from that loving, truly concern, because back in that Corinthians chapter, it said, with all these gifts, the most important one is love. If you don't have that, the others are not nearly as pronounced or important.
And you got to have gratitude. You've got to have gratitude about everything too. You have to be so appreciative. That I thank Jesus above that I met you, Paul. I really did, because you've brought so much into our lives. And these are things that not only I'm sharing, not only Phil is my husband is sharing, but our audience is able to share. People are, I had more insight than I thought I had. Yeah. So I'm hearing that, and you do. Everybody has it. You gotta get it.
It's impossible not to be intuitive. Everybody's got it. Before kids get programmed early, on where they start to get this intellectual training, they're the most intuitive beings on the planet.
Sure.
They'll lean back and shy away from this friend of yours because something doesn't feel good, like you were saying in the meeting and the four couples. Kids are so sensitive. And that's what happened to me when I was little. I just picked things up. I felt things. My father passed on when I was 16. The night before, I turned to look at him in his chair, and it's like he disappeared. And I had this really weird feeling. The whole night, it turned out after my mother and I was the oldest, my mother and I talked with, she'd been having dreams that my father was leaving the family in various kinds of scenarios. And it was mystical. And here this thing happened to us. And it was kind of a confirmation that we sensed something, we felt something. And people do that all the time, all over the world. Just a matter of acknowledging it just a little bit.
Absolutely. When my grandmother passed away, I was the first grandchild.
Yeah.
And so, but it was the day she passed away. And so, and we lived a little piece away. And I said, we got to go see Mama. And so we went. And I remember getting there, and all I did was touch her wrist. That's all I did.
Yeah.
I felt this shock. It was just like some kind, and then I had to step away. And it was almost like a religious experience. And so I touched her, get the shock. And then I go to the restroom, and Phil is following me because he's like, something is wrong with Donna, like that. And I said, Mama's about to pass away, like that. And so I actually passed out. And I don't pass out. I've never passed out in my life, but it was an experience I have never had in my entire lifetime. But you can experience things you've never experienced before and wonder, what was that about? It's about intuition. It's about aura. It's about all those wonderful things that God gives us. And we can be successful with it, or we can not be successful with it. And I'm talking business. It's a great way to be successful.
And probably for me, the biggest part, I have 5 children, and the biggest place where my intuitive senses have helped the most is in those relationships. Knowing when to stay out of it, knowing when to get involved in it, using that sensitivity, again, to be more in my own timing, more in my own right place. And one of the things we need to talk about just briefly, I know we're beginning to wrap here, discernment, discerning those energies. And most people take on energies, and they're starting to act or react on energies from the outside, pressures, the outside influences, and they don't even discern that that's not them. You'll hear people, why did I do that? That's not like me. Discerning what is me and what is not me is a big part of the techniques that we do in our workshops and classes. And really trying to help people bring this down to earth. Like you said earlier, demystify it, put some common sense to it. There's so much. And Donna, I've been doing this work for decades now, and I still learn more every day about all this. I'm very helpful. I bring it on. I want to experience more. And I've found that no matter where a person is in life, if they want to grow and learn, there's more out there.
There most certainly is. How can folks find more information about you, Paul? How can they be part of your group?
Well, two things. Number one, the Empowered Soul Network is a Facebook group. So they can go on to Facebook and kind of put that in the search, Empowered Soul Network. And then also my website, I didn't put that up there, but they can go to riseinexcellence.com, riseinexcellence.com. There's a lot of stuff in there. I'm still building that out more with new blogs and things like that, but riseinexcellence.com. Another thing I wanted to pass on is that in Empowered Soul Network, every Wednesday and Friday, we do the Empowered Edge. So the edge energy, Donna's edge, empowered edge. Let's get you guys some edge out there. Let's sharpen that energy to cut through any kind of negativity or confusion with those intuitive powers.
Absolutely. Again, Dr. Paul, thank you so much for being on the show with me. And thank you guys so much for being with us too. You're the reason we do what we do. Continue sending email, donna@donnasedge.com. We'll see you next time.
This is Maury Yancey, president of the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce staff, board, and membership proudly cheer the Wildcats on to victory. When you shop local, you are supporting the future of our young people. The Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce, cheering on the Wildcats. Hello, this is Maury Yancey, President of the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce staff, board, and membership proudly cheer the Wildcats on to victory. When you shop local, you are supporting the future of our young people. The Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce, cheering on the Wildcats.